All right. Glory to God. Amen. Hallelujah. Amen. We are here. We are here and we are excited about this webinar on today. We're not gonna jump right in because we're gonna give a few minutes for you all to log in with us and to tune in and give some time of sharing time and inviting your friends time and all of that. So we're gonna just give a few minutes for that. But we are so excited to be here with you all. Myself and Pastor. We are
Hello.
so, yeah, we thank the Lord for what He is doing and through Abundant Rain Ministry and our
Yes.
A.R.M outreach ministry. And so just keep sharing a little bit. Hey, daughter. And Bria Truitt, we love and miss you. Hi, God
Hey,
bless
Bria.
you. Yeah, make sure you share this, Bria, and invite and share. This is going to be good. Well, it was so awesome last month as well. My God. Listen, I'm telling you, we got some good topics, some very helpful
Yes.
instrumental things, people, experts, specialists in their fields. Oh my God, trained, licensed, degreed, you know. So, and all this is free. All of this is free. Let's take advantage of this. I'm telling
Yes.
you. So, yeah, so share with your friends and put it in their inbox, on their pages, or whatever it is we have to do, because this is a wealth of knowledge that is being transferred through these monthly webinars. And so last month was our first one. This month is our second one, and we're honored to have our very own pastor of the ministry
Amen.
because to share with us and what she does. She is the CEO of the Burrellz enterprise. And so we are so excited to have this level of knowledge in the area of accounting, finances, and business entrepreneurship. And so we want to share with you all. And so please continue to share this and join and connect with us monthly. You can go to our website to keep track of what we're doing and what webinar will be coming up next. We will also eventually be going
To
back into
build.
the building, but
Yes.
we'll still be doing the webinars also, but sometimes we'll be going into the building because there are some workshops that's going to be hands-on, and so
Yes.
we can't just do a webinar for that. So we're going to have some hands-on workshops that we're going to have to be actually in the facility. So those are going to be exciting as well, because it's going to be some great stuff coming in the near future. And so y'all make sure that you are sharing this and everything. Thank you so much, Bria. We see that you have shared this. We appreciate you so much. And let's see, we got some. Please let us know that you're here with us. Just say hi or hey or whatever y'all want to
Yes.
say. I don't know any other languages. Hola. Well, I do know that
Yeah, and
that's
that's it.
hola and muchas gracias. I think
Yeah,
that's thank you for sharing. I think in today's time, Pastor, I think in today's time, I think we can make up any language
we
in today's
can. We
time.
really
We
can.
have all kind of verbiage and all kind of lexicon.
Yes.
Anything goes now. You just make it up and it gets
Yes.
catchy and it just be a language,
Yes.
Amen. So um hey there. All right, how you doing, Nikki? We love you. Thank you so much for joining with us. Judea. I always do that. I'm just Nikki. I tell you,
Yeah.
Judea. Oh God, help me. Not Judea. Judea. Isn't it Judea?
Yeah. Yeah.
Judy.
Judea.
Lordy Jesus, I love that name though. I tell you, I'm gonna stick with Nikki. All right, so let's see how much time. Okay, we're gonna get ready to dive on in here. Let's see. All right, we got our sharing. Okay, let me share as well.
Okay.
Let's do this. Give me one quick moment. Oh yeah, that's good. Okay. I'm glad everything came up. When I put the description in, it's good to see that that is also on the broadcast. All right, let me share to my page, and then we're gonna get on moving here. Oh, all right. Yeah, see. Oh, good. We're getting some good. Yeah, we got some guests coming on in.
Awesome.
Yeah. Glory to God. Okay. So, yeah, all right. Well, we are here on this great day, and we are so excited to come up here monthly to share a wealth of knowledge and to be a blessing and an assistance to the community, diverse community, communities abroad. That's the good thing about today's time and technology and the dispensation that we live in, with the all of the great social media platforms, and we can reach masses. And so this is a blessing. And so we're able to do this, and it's free. We have, last month was our first month. You can go back. Actually, you can go to YouTube, go to our YouTube channel as well, Abundant Rain Ministry Inc. And you will see that we have the videos for the community, the A.R.M outreach community webinars. You can also go on our website, www.abundantrainministry.org, and you can find a video from the previous webinars as well. You can register and subscribe to our mailing list. And you can see all of the activities and the community involvement that we've been doing for years. And so we're introducing, this is our newest and our latest, most phenomenal thing here, because I love the way that we're able to bring those that specialize in areas, and they have degrees and they are certified and skillful in these areas, and offering this for free. This is powerful, and it is so phenomenal. So we are here on this morning. Matter of fact, yes, last month you can go back and watch the clips. I mean, the video from there on what was that, Pastor? Resume
Writing.
Yes.
And a lot of things I was doing wrong, so it was very helpful.
Wow.
And I'm in the corporate world.
Right. Right. Yes. Okay. I learned a lot too. My goodness gracious. And so we have so many great topics that will be coming up in the coming months. So you all make sure you stay plugged in.
Yes.
Abundant Rain Ministry, like the page and follow us and what the Lord is doing. Because truly ministry is not just about us, but it is really offering the gifts and the services and the things that God has blessed us with to be a blessing to other people. So we're excited about that. So we're not going to prolong any further. We're going to go ahead and allow Pastor Shameka, our pastor of Abundant Rain Ministry. I'm the founder of Abundant Rain Ministry. And so we have our very own pastor today. But she's also the CEO of the Burrellz Enterprise LLC. And so this is so awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of the way, and I'm going to let her just give a little bit of her background first on how she even got into the field of the study of accounting and finances and all of that stuff. And she'll walk us through that, and then she'll get ready to go ahead and do a presentation. So, all right, Pastor, go ahead on. My goodness.
Awesome. Thank you, Apostle. So yes, so most of you all know me as Pastor Shameka, but I also own a accounting firm. So our accounting firm actually does small business, and my passion is also personal finance. And I'm just gonna give a quick shout out to my apostle, because she asked, how did I get into accounting? And she was actually one of the inspirations. There's two things she said to me, and I did not notice this at the time. And this is why I'm so passionate about personal finances and just not on the business side. Is many conversations we don't had about my finances in the past, and just being transparent. I've probably been at Abundant Rain for about 12 years now. So we don't had a lot of conversations about finances, and this thing that she told me stuck with me the most was that your greatest struggle would be your greatest success. And so I still kind of gave it a side eye, because I was like, I don't see any, I don't see how I'm gonna end up doing this. Right. And so, but honestly, when you actually take note of that or heed of that, that's actually how I got in accounting. So that was one of the things she said to me. And the second thing is, what you do best is what you're going to do. So because I didn't personally see it in my personal life, but I seen it on the business side, I started with accounting. But then I understand about a few years ago, God was dealing with me about how being delivered is not just being delivered from all these different things, but poverty was one of them. So he had me start dealing with how to get out of debt. So I'm not only certified as a financial coach, a certified financial coach, I personally walk through these methods. So I'm not giving you like anything that I didn't have to personally go through. So that's one good thing about having people in your life that can kind of guide you where you don't see things. But that's actually how the Burrellz Enterprise, one of the reasons Burrell Enterprise, especially on the family legacy part, got started, because that was one of my areas that, not that I did not know how to balance, but I didn't know the importance of credit stability and being free. When I say being free, not being debt, because we know we all have some level of debt, but being a slave to debt, that stopped me from a lot of things. So a little bit about my background. I graduated with a degree in accounting. I went on to also get certified as a financial coach, and then also certified as a credit counselor through an organization, the Credit Counselor Association. So sometimes when people take the Credit Counsel of Association, they go through those, and I'm not knocking any services, but they go through the credit repairs, but that's not the way God had me go. He had me go more as an advisor or a counselor or a accountability partner. Because even though they are great services, but sometimes when you get stuff too easy, you don't ever change your mindset. And so that's how I got into accounting. So we've been operating for about almost a year, almost 2 years now. So we're excited about that.
Wow. That is powerful. Isn't that awesome, you guys? Oh my goodness. I mean, absolutely awesome. Oh my Lord. Well, I am excited, and I know you all are. You got your paper, you got your pen, your tablet, your voice recorders, or whatever it is that you need. And she's been ready to transfer a wealth of knowledge to us on today. And we all can use some tips on how to get out of debt, how to budget, how to plan our future out, that we can leave. I love one of the things that she focuses on. I love that family legacy, how to leave a legacy for your family, leaving that inheritance. A good man, the word of God says, leaves an inheritance for his family. And so I'm excited about this, and I'm ready to hear so much more, because I love also what you were saying, Pastor, about being free. Sometimes we only limit that freedom to spiritual things, but there's natural things that we need to be free and delivered from as well, so that we can walk in that full purpose, not just potential, but our full purpose in life. And sometimes we got to be free from the bondages of things in the natural. And I love that this free from debt. and free from squandering and all this too,
Yes.
and not being good stewards and all that stuff.
Yes.
And so we're gonna turn this on over and and let Pastor, you want to address it? Well, okay, Shameka. We know that she's Pastor
Yes.
Shameka Burrell, but I want to address her as Shameka Burrell, the
Okay.
CEO
No
today,
problem.
if that's all right. And so,
Yes.
to the next, Ms. Burrell, go ahead on and teach us some stuff today.
Uh, and it's, yeah, it's okay because my family legacy kind of cross train with both things. So what we talk about in our family legacy course is what you do with the 90%. And
Mm,
so, we know we've been taught all the time what to do with the 10%, but what do you do with the 90%? Because that's where most
mm,
people struggle. And
wow.
so this is between my family legacy course. It teaches you a few things, or it's a few things that we teach. One is how to leave a good financial legacy for your family, and also how to cross over from your 9 to 5 to
Mm,
entrepreneurship, because that's one of the things that I had to learn how to do, how to work your job into it. But I'm only going to focus on a few things today. One is
mm,
setting a budget,
mm,
rethinking your spending habit, the
wow.
credit game, and then I'm going to follow it up with tools, tips, and different apps that you can use.
All right.
So the first thing I want to talk about, and I didn't do a presentation because sometimes we get stuck on the presentation. So sometimes I do a PowerPoint and sometimes I do not. But for today,
Mm-hmm,
I didn't do a PowerPoint. So that also, if you have any questions as I'm going through, I
mm-hmm.
can't see the Facebook, but Apostle can. And so
Okay. Yeah.
you can
Mm-hmm.
jump in at any time.
Okay.
And,
Mm-hmm.
and so I want to tell you, it is so important to start off with a budget. A
Mm-hmm.
foundational piece of a budget is where you're going. A budget
Mm,
is where you're at into where you want to be. So when you set
okay.
a budget, most times people don't like setting a budget because we think of restrictions. You think
Hmm.
about all the things you cannot do. But if you understand the foundation of a budget, the budget's
Mm,
actually a transaction to get you to your next place. So
wow.
if I set a budget and I know right now I'm only working with $1,500, but I would love to work at the end be at 5,000. So it takes you
Mm,
doing a mini of series, because one of the things that I teach in my financial legacy course is the ability to enjoy where you're going, the ability
mm,
and to enjoy your family. You have a family, and so you don't enjoy it because you're always worrying about your budget. You're always worrying about your expenses. But if you handle these things on the front end, then you don't
mm,
have to worry about it. So I just want to go over simply what is a budget, or how do you establish a budget. A budget
that's
is basically taking your what your monthly expenses and what you bring in. So if you have a job, is bringing in what you bring in after taxes. So we start there first. So we get all of your we get your income in first, and then we go through your expenses. It is so important to categorize your expenses to needs and wants, because you'll think an expense is just things that you have to have. So what we do first is we establish a budget, and then we
mm,
subtract just all expenses from our income. That's the simple
wow.
thing as a budget. Excuse me. I'm sorry, my sinus are draining today. But
Oh, that's okay. Mm-hmm,
you have to first establish a budget. You have to know what you're bringing in. Most
mm,
time when I talk to people about, well, what are you bringing in, they start the guessing game.
ah,
Well, on this time, but so you want to see these things in writing, in paper. So one of the things you have to do, either have a notebook or an app, and we'll get to that at the end, which ones can help you. Now, I'm still old school when it comes to a budget, so I still like pen and paper on my home budget.
yeah.
And so, but that's on my home budget. I still like to, because you want to make sure you have something where you can start adjusting your budget. You can
Mm,
start off with a certain budget, and then you kind of navigate through it, and then you kind of start adjusting as you go. So sometimes when we think of a budget, we think, well, if I set a budget at $500 each month, I got to stick with $500. No, you go back
mm,
and you review your budget, and then you adjust accordingly.
wow.
And then one thing I love to do is get my bank statement for the last 60 days. And this is why I tell you, you highlight your needs and your wants.
Oh,
If
that's
you
good.
actually want to know what your spending habit is, get your bank account. Get your bank account, get your credit cards together, and start going through your bank accounts and see all the things that you spent your money on. And that way you can kind of understand what is your spending habit. So we go from first setting the budget, then we go to identifying your spending habits. And most time we don't think we're spending a lot of money because we don't really see it. So even if you have like a register, you just kind of deleting as you go. But if you have a budget in place and a system to identify your spending habits, then you can say, oh, wow, I spent, $40 unnecessary money. So that's when you go back and you start reviewing and adjusting your budget for the next month. I tell people, do not be hard on yourself when you first start what you're doing, because you can get so discouraged about, oh man, I spent this money, I could have saved this money. But if you understand that this all is a work in progress, the main part is to first identify and to start. I don't care where you're at I don't care whether you do not have any debt or you owe $20,000 in debt. If you never identify what your spending habit is, you're going to always go around in the same circle, in the same cycle.
Wow.
So what I teach first is, now we're going to go through your bank statements and your credit cards, and then we're going to start identifying what your spending habit, and now we're going to prioritize your spending. So let's just say if you know that your electric, water, and your gas bill is due at the first of the month when you first get paid. Well, what are you going to do? Because sometimes people's like, well, let me just say this. COVID is a good time to start revamping your budget, because the things that you thought you needed, we used to go to every movie, every time every movie come out, and then you realize I don't have to go to every movie. So you find out something else that you can do in that place. So for us, we realized that, we realized that most of our car notes, the rent is due at the first of the month. So what we do is find out different things we can do, like Netflix or different stuff, movie night, go buy our own popcorns when things are coming out at the beginning of the month. So we don't plan for the beginning of the month. And that allows us to save for the end of the month. So we plan family outings towards the end of the month. So people don't realize that budget is not just simple and just gathering your bills. Find out when it's the big fluctuation, and that's how you plan your budget. You decide that, okay, well, I know for the first I get paid every 2 weeks. Excuse me. I get paid every 2 weeks, but I know, or let's say the first through the 15th. And so I know through the first and 15th, I will get paid one time, because I either get paid every 2 weeks. If I get paid 2 times, then I know that the first thing I take is my necessities, my water, my gas, my rent. I don't take out clothes for shopping. I take out my necessities. Then on my second end of my budget, you plan either something for yourself if you're an individual, or something for your family. So that's how you could also balance your budget, because you don't want to work just to be paying bills.
Yes.
And so one of the other things that I do when creating a spending plan is, after I create my budget, after I go through my banks, I also look into getting another bank account. And so we teach about having different bank accounts. If you take advantage of credit unions, those are one of the greatest places that sometimes don't have fees. I know that I'm with a credit union right now that is now giving rebates on ATM fees. So we overlook smaller banks, and we overlook credit unions. So when you are planning a budget, make sure you're planning to go to a credit union or a smaller bank account, because one thing you will have a greater relationship with your banking people. So we think about relationships only when we're building a business, but we don't think about having a banking relationship with the bank when you have a when you have personal income.
That's good.
So what I do is, just like naturally on the accounting side, I categorize all of my banking. So meaning that I have one banking account for my giving, I have one banking account for my spending, and we have one banking account for our household, and we still have a savings account.
Awesome.
And so, and this work for us, this information, you can tailor made it to yours. So if you don't need 3 or 4 bank accounts, just say you have 2.
Yeah.
So many of us have direct deposit. One thing I do is I take out my tithes and my offerings and put it into another bank account. That's what I do, because I don't play with God's money. And
Praise
so
God.
second of all, I have another bank account that takes another 10% that goes into my family, because those are one, just even with me on the natural side, it still goes with the spiritual side. But my family is also another priority. My kids are in sports and different stuff. So now for me to be able to do things for them, so that money goes into another bank account as well.
Yeah.
And then we have a household bank account, and that's where we use our utilities. And let me tell you why it might seem like a lot, but the thing about it is when you don't see the money, you don't touch the money. So when you understand that if I can now put 2 of my spending things into another account, I won't see it, so I won't spend it.
That's good.
Excuse me. So I'm telling you, it is so important to first figure out what is your way, because what we do is, even though we get the tips, we have to specialize it or customize it to the person that is using it. That's why Apostle was saying that it's so important that when we go back into having these in the building, that you be a part of the building, because now we can do hands-on. But just want to throw out general information here. So you have additional bank accounts. 2 on my have the ones that I have like low balances, meaning that I know that is only spending money. I do not get it at a big bank that you have to have a certain amount in your in your account. I might have it at a smaller bank that offers no monthly payments. No monthly fees, or a credit union that you do not have a certain amount in.
Okay.
So that's very important too. So if you're getting a bank account, sometimes the bigger banks, you have to either have a certain amount, or sometimes you just have to have a direct deposit. And so it doesn't matter what amount the direct deposit is. If the direct deposit is just $100 a month, they still give you credit for that, and you won't get service fees. So just look into your bank account to see which one has the better rate. And so when we're talking about budgeting and financing, one of the other things that I had was an accountability partner. And she's probably watching. So it was my twin sister, Shameka.
She was with us last. She was one of the facilitators last month for the residents. She's excellent.
She has a lot of trades, a lot of gifting, and one of what is hers is finances. So have somebody that can keep you accountable. So you need an accountability partner, because anything that you need to go through in life, you don't go through alone. Of course, we offer our services as an accountability, but you don't want to go through whatever. So anytime you're trying to get break off from something or break through from something, do not go as alone. So I had an accountability partner that actually challenged what I was able to do. So do you actually need to go to that movie today? Do y'all actually need to go to the Mexican restaurant? Can y'all just buy the ingredients and work it at home? And so it is very important that you have somebody that is able to hold you accountable for what you need to be doing, because sometimes you would think that it's a good purchase, but somebody else can tell you the reason why it can wait. One of the one of the biggest tricks that I seen is on sale. And let me
Ah,
tell you why, because we think on sale is a great idea, and it is. But let me just tell you this: if it's on sale in May, and that's all the money you have, you don't
mm,
need it. So why not save for the full price and either wait for it to come back on sale,
mm,
or just get it at the full price? Because sometimes you don't realize that if you spend before your spending plan or your spending budget, just because it
mhm.
on sale, you don't put yourself back $300 and $400 you didn't really save in the long run. Or we have what's that
Wow.
saying, rob Peter to pay Paul. So if you
Mm,
take it out of your bill money to get it because, oh, it was just on sale,
mm,
then it's not always a good idea. That's good for retailing and marketing, but you have to start understanding what's good for your household budget. So there's
that's
sometimes
good.
that I don't get things even though it seems like it's on sale and I don't know if it's gonna get that price again. But
Mhm.
I just wait. I rather pay it at full price and be able to afford it and then get on sale and then throw myself back
That's
300,
good.
$400. So one of the biggest things that I have to how budget and finance is, you have to rethink what you're doing. You have to build yourself. You have to reprioritize your priorities. And
Mm,
so you have to make sure that these years you started to now invest in you and in your family, whatever your legacy might look like, because your legacy might not be your children. Your legacy might be leaving it for your nieces and nephews. Your legacy might be doing something else. So you want to make
mm,
sure that you are when we talk about family legacies, that whoever is coming behind you is able to be able to pick up. Because most time financial legacies, most people don't want to come behind you, because behind us is because that the financial legacy was never set. Now the
mm.
vision was set for the family, but the foundation wasn't. So dealing
Wow,
with budgets, dealing with accounting, dealing with tools, we dealing with the foundation.
that's good.
And so I mentioned and I'm just go over what I mentioned too, because I know
Mhm.
sometimes I talk fast as well. But
Now you
um
doing good. This
oh,
is
okay.
good.
So
Mm-hmm.
we talk about one, prioritizing your spending.
Mm-hmm.
See if you actually need what you need. See, when do you need what you need? If it can wait to your whatever paycheck, you delegate for a fund paycheck. Because this is one thing that that we do, or that I start doing, is making sure that I have a fund paycheck. And that might just be going to get my nails done, my toes done, whatever it might be. It
Mm-hmm.
might be getting my hair done. It might be something that I can do, because self-care is still important. If you're just trying to budget, or you just
Mm-hmm.
trying to get your bills out the way, and then you feel like you get tired and stop because you feel like you're not making any moves, because there's nothing just for me. So
Yeah.
when I said that's why I have another bank account that does not go with my household bank account, because it allows me to just deal with me. It would
Mm-hmm.
allow you to just deal with some things that you just like to have.
Mm.
So sometimes we think about budgeting and we think about completely taking away the things that we like to do. Is really just prioritizing what you like to do, and
Wow.
knowing when that you can do it.
Mm.
So we have already paid for our vacation for next year.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're not in a rush to save. I mean, we're not trying to, like, let's just go on this vacation and then come home and the bills are
Mm-hmm.
still waiting for us. Well, now we can go on vacation when it's time to go on vacation, knowing that vacation is already paid for next year. So
Awesome.
that's what I'm so I know that we think that also somebody's going on vacation, so we need to go on vacation, we need to do this. But just think about your mindset when you get back from these things. Think about how you're going to feel. That
Mm-hmm.
temporary feeling you'll feel on vacation, but when you get back to open these bills. So
Yes.
it's a little harder. It doesn't always seem. I know that sometimes, and this is one of the reasons. Again, like I said, I'm not knocking it, but the reason God didn't make chose for me not to go down the path of credit repair, because
Mm.
some things are a quick fix, but then
Mm.
you still have to deal with the residue of your mindset. So
That's good.
we deal with both of them at the same time.
Mm, love that.
And then I want to talk about the credit game. And so as I talk about credit, I'm going to talk about three important things with credit. So you set your budget, you ready to go. Now, how do you deal with? And one thing I learned, because I have learned that many programs, their quick fix to credit is to tell you not to get into debt. Well, if you did that, then you wouldn't need to, to get out of it. So what do you do when you need your credit fix? What do you do when you need debt to for your debt to be gone? So one
Wow.
thing I want to talk about, debt to ratio income. Credit cards are good, and of course credit cards are bad. And the thing about it is, credit card is easy sometimes to get in it, but not to get out of it. And so this is what I'm saying, that when you get a credit card, it builds your credit up when you get it. But if you ever notice, if you close a credit card, sometimes it drop your credit score. So,
Yeah.
and you trying to wonder, well, I paid off the debt. Well, why is my credits going back down? Because because even though that they want to see credit on your credit, they want to see your ability to pay. So I said, if you have a $500 credit card, if you have a $500 credit card, make sure that you're only using 10% of that credit card or 20% of that credit card.
Okay.
For me, for credit, if I use credit a little bit different, because we all have to have credit. So anything that I use for credit is because I have the money for. I
Yeah.
don't use credit to borrow money.
Right.
And remember, it's a change of mindset. So in order for me to build my credit, I might get I might get a credit card. And so I might use my credit card to pump gas, to get fuel, because of course, you have money for fuel every week. So automatically, the money that I took out in my budget for fuel goes to a different bank account. And I set my credit cards on automatic payment. And here's the trick about credit cards. There's two things you can do to boost your credit. So say that I use $40 a month for credit. My my credit card is due on the 25th. I did $40. So what I do is first I pay 20 of it halfway through the credit card, and then I pay the other half on 2 days before the credit card is due. This will make people think that you're actually paying twice, and it can also kind of boost your credit score.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so you don't always have to wait till the 25th or when your credit card to pay that $40 or half of your balance. Pay half of your balance before, and then pay the other half after.
Oh, that's good.
And then so you have three credit agency. We know TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. But sometimes people don't know the difference between when you have, and I say places like Credit Karma, and using the actual Experian app or the Equifax apps. There's two scores. You have a vintage score and you have a FICO score. The vintage score is your credit card score. So if you understand that, most people saying, well, how can you rebuild your credit? Then they say, go get a small credit card, and you only see it. So you'll go try to get a car, and you realize why your credit score was two different credit scores. It's because when you look on things like Credit Karma, those apps like that, they only have the vintage score, meaning that they only have the credit card score. So a FICO score has three different trade scores, or three different scores. You have a home score, you have a car score, and you have a credit card score. And so anytime, so that's why sometimes you might go to a bank, and not that they're not pulling from Experian, but the score might look different. It's because, one, if a car place pulls your car score, that score might be different from your home score, because you might have had something like a foreclosure or something that hits the home trade line. So your home score can be a little bit higher and your credit card can be a little bit lower because you done defaulted on your credit cards. So you have to be very careful with using like Credit Karma and different things. It's best to go ahead and either get the free version of Experian, because what they do is they give you the same information, whether it's the free service or the $19.99 service.
Wow.
So you might as well do that. People don't know that about credit, or don't realize that about credit, that you can have. That's why sometimes when you think that your score is higher in one area and you're looking on Credit Karma and you like, oh, I'm at a 900. Not 900. Let me just throw out a number, and then you
Right.
get to the car dealership and you at a 5 something.
Wow.
That is
Isn't
the
that
reason
something?
why.
So let me stop you real quick and go, make sure, because I'm trying to write some nuggets here. FICA, home, car, and did you say bank? Home, car. The FICA score is
Home, car, and credit cards.
okay. Credit card, got it.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is the score that institutions like your bank, like your car loan, go put out. The FICA, I mean, the Vintage score is what your credit cards pull out. And
Wow.
so that's why when we do credit repairing, we talk about other trade lines versus just getting a credit card. Because even though
That's
the credit
good.
card does boost your credit, not saying that it doesn't, but sometimes that's why you see the difference between the two. And I can just tell you, if you download the Experian app, when you go into the Experian app, you can get the free version, I believe, or you can get the as cheap as $9.99 a month. And you'll start seeing those 3 different scores. You'll see what the car people see. You'll see what your home see. You'll see why you might have like a 690 or 700 on a credit card, but might have a 620 on your house. And so that's why, because they all weigh the difference. And Credit Karma deals with credit cards. That's why you always see a high one, and that's why you always see Credit Karma always ask you, would you like this low interest credit card? Because that's what their score goes off. That's what, and if you close a credit card, that's why you might see it decrease on Credit Karma. But if you actually pull your Equifax and you realize it did not decrease at all, it might have actually got higher.
That is so interesting. I see. That is good. I'm glad I see that, because I have one score. Yeah, one thing that's tracking my with the all 3, and that score is different. And then when I do the Credit Karma or whatever, it's a whole lot of them, right? I think I got one of them. But
one of the biggest ones,
when I went to get my car, and the guy said, you must don't know what your credit score is. And I was like, no, because I got the car. They ain't need no financials or nothing. They got another car. They got 3 cars in my name, still ain't had to show no finance. I said, what is your score? He said, you don't know what your score is, then, do you? I said, that credit karma don't do no justice, do it?
No, and I tell people, Credit Karma is only the Credit Karma to me, and trust me, this is on the opinions of me in my company. It's only good if you're tracking what's on your credit, not to go by the credit score. So it's very good if you sign up for it and you want to see what is being shown. But Experian does the same thing, and you can still get the free app. Because sometimes Credit Karma will play on your emotions. You'll have something that says, "Oh, you dropped 25 points, and you about to have a heart attack," and then you go on Experian, and it's just the same. So it's just all how they calculate it.
Right.
So for me, and if you're looking to do anything but track your expenses, track your credit, not your credit score, what's on your credit. That's the only way I recommend those Credit Karma places. But actually trying to get your true score, I will go on. You should make make a thing with Experian and with COVID. You can Google COVID now has where they're giving you Experian, Equifax, TransUnion. TransUnion is not one that most people, is not what most people pull. But you can also just go due to COVID. They have something right now. You can Google it and see how you can get a free credit score.
Okay.
But I will watch off those Vantage scores. It's helpful, but it's not precise.
Okay.
I seen people who was trying to go for a loan, and they said Credit Karma said I had a 700, and then you have still under what is required.
Okay. Wow.
So you need to know the difference. Go ahead, Apostle.
Okay, I'm sorry. So is that Vantage score or Vintage score?
I'm sorry, Vintage. Yes.
Vintage. Okay,
Yes.
got it. And now which one do you say is the best? Experian, TransUnion, or what's the third one?
Equifax.
Yes, Equifax. The most accurate or the best.
Equifax or Experian. But the thing about it is, it just also depends on who you have. Not all.
Okay.
Not all companies pay to report to every company. So that's why it's good to pull all three, and that's why the bank pull all three, because not all, so you might have credit. So, and sometimes you have to know that too when you signing up for these credit cards or you signing up for these loans. You ask them, who do you report to? So that way, because that's why you see different things on different credit bureaus that you don't that they might not report to all three. They might just choose one, and that's why another reason why your score can fluctuate, because you got something off that was on TransUnion, but it didn't change Equifax or Experian.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good.
And then thank you. So my last tip, and some of them I gave away, but if you're not good, me personally, I do everything within Microsoft Excel, or paper and pencil. Microsoft Excel, for a free one, you can actually just simply give. You can put in the temp, and when you hit Microsoft Excel, then hit new, then how you search for templates. Do a household budget, weekly, monthly, bi-weekly, semi, however you want to do it. That's a free way to do it. If you're more up to date in technology, you can do mint.com. You can do mint.com. One reason I like mint.com because it's free. And it also connects with your bank account. It connects with your bank account. It connects with your credit cards. So it will all give you this total.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now that right there, tell a little bit more about that. You said Mint.
Yeah, MINT.
Okay.
It's a budget tracker.
Budget tracker. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. If you bank with Chase Bank gives you a budget tracker that allows you to see how much you spend and what you spent your money on.
Awesome.
And so it's great when you need to identify your spending habit. I tell people the worst thing you can do about your financial situation is ignore it. And so, and just a different or a extra tip that I will also give is just a general one about collections. When you're dealing with collections, just because you ignore them don't mean that it's there. It's not there.
Yeah.
We was all taught when they ask for you on the phone, say I'm not here. That does not work, because what they do is they put it right on your credit report. You don't have to. So I advise my clients to, if you get a letter from the credit from a credit card company, I'm sorry, a third party collection company, always answer it.
That's good.
You always answer it. You always look for one, validation. You dispute anything from your name being wrong, from your account being 2% off. 2 pennies off. You don't tell them that it's 2 pennies off. You say, I'm looking at my account and this is what I have. Can you validate this? And send it certified mail. You send everything certified mail, or even if you talk to them, unless you're making a settlement, I wouldn't talk to the collection, send everything through mail. Or if you do talk to them, ask for a badge number, operation number, a name, a supervisor, in an email. Because what happens is that when you do these tips right here, then you have information that you can now fight it with the credit bureau. So if the collection doesn't fight it, you say, hey, I spoke with them at this time. This is who I spoke with. This is an email address. This is this. But most times I tell clients, get everything in writing. So those are the budget, the finances, the accountability tools that I have. And I just open it up for any questions.
Wow. That is so awesome. This has been some awesome, great, helpful, oh my goodness, insightful information. I was trying to jot some nuggets down there. If you all have any questions, anyone, please ask while Shameka Burrell is here with us. She can help and answer some questions for you. This is really good. Absolutely. Wow. I remember years ago when I was living home in DC, Maryland, DC, and we had a millionaire to come and do a financial planning workshop. And he asked, let me try to see if I can remember it. He asked, how many, everyone raise your hand if you all can be jotting your questions down. Raise your hand if you can go 4 paychecks without being homeless. No, let me start. He started with 1 paycheck. 1 paycheck without being homeless. You should have saw the amount of hands that were raised in that room. Missing 1 paycheck. You're 1 paycheck away from being homeless.
Yes.
Then he said 2 paychecks. Then there was still a lot of hands. 3 paychecks, it was still a lot, but not as much. 4 paychecks, probably only 2 hands were lifted. Only about 2 people that can go for a whole month without receiving a paycheck and still have things intact, have their home and not homeless. That stuck with me forever. And I thought that was so interesting. He began to talk about how a lot of times we live above our means, but we also live too much at the line.
Yes.
He said it's best to live beneath the line. And so he was talking about how it was like certain things don't really matter to him. A lot of materialistic things don't really matter to him. He barely even had at that time he didn't even have a TV. This was so years ago. He didn't even have a TV in his house. And the one that he did have was an old, outdated, probably the color TVs were in. He probably was still on an old black and white something he said, or whatever it was for that time frame. It was like so outdated, right? And he was talking about how also, like you were saying, Shameka, about that he called it a daily ledger. And you were talking about that as well. And that is something that I adapted throughout the years as well. And you will see how much you really wasted.
Yes.
What was a necessity? What's necessary? What's a need and what's a want? And like you said, though, it's not that we can't have our wants, but we have to take care of our needs first and make sure the necessities out of the way. And we take that daily ledger. And by the time I got to the end of the week and I saw, oh my gosh, I spent this on food, spent this on that. So it keeps you balanced, grounded, and it gives you a balance. And it helped me throughout the years tremendously. And so that's some good piece of information. This has been good. Oh, okay, here we go. We got some questions. Okay, let's see. Okay, Embria Truitt says, I don't have credit cards, but still have issues trying to budget. I need help in putting my bills in order.
Okay. Of course, because I was going to do it just like I was going to do, like they did on the last call as well. I will offer to a couple of people, because this is what I do for a business as well. But
Right.
I will help you, because one of the things we do is a budget analyst. Bree, you can go ahead and be one of the first ones to take advantage of it.
Oh, look at that! How awesome is that? And Bria, she's is going to take you'll be one of her first that she's going to render services to assist. She's only doing a few now because this is her
I do up
business.
to 3. One for the
Up to
Father, the
3.
Son, and the Holy Ghost. So I do up to 3.
Yes, that's good. One for the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. You can take
Yes.
3.
Yes,
That's
I do.
awesome. All
And you can
right.
send it to info. You can inbox Abundant Rain Ministry if you would like to take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm. Or directly to you, Shameka, is fine.
Yes.
Yeah, that is good because oh my Lord, yeah, we don't want to miss any, so that'll be good. Wow,
And I'm
this
telling
has
you, it's so important. I heard something, and even though I heard this thing, it said, don't tell your kids about Santa Claus because you don't have a budget. And then, even though I don't believe in Santa Claus and my kids don't either, but it's like, stop waiting for things to now tell your kids the truth. So a lot of times that we say, well, Christmas is not important, and it's really, of course, we know about the birth of Jesus, but it's really because we never budget for things to happen, or so family legacy is not just about it's not just about building just not about building for spiritual needs, but also building for your family needs, because we know that one thing about family legacies, that means that there's something that is coming up behind you. So if you have children, birthdays and different stuff. So we also teach on fundamentals of how to deal with holidays, how to plan for holidays, how to plan for birthdays. So because when we talk about family legacies here, we deal with the money, but we also deal with the mindset.
That's good.
And so we kind of deal with the mindset, especially when your legacy come up. Then they say, well, we never really did birthdays in our house, and it wasn't really because we didn't celebrate it. It could just be because we never planned for
it. Wow, that is so good. That is good. Let's see if we have any more questions or any. She's taking up to 3 that she will assist.
and
I would
everything
take
is
advantage.
confidential. I don't anybody that I do a budget or financial analyst, because I do not display these. So just know that it will be confidential to for you if you need help.
Wow. Oh, this is so phenomenal. Absolutely. Okay. Mary Moody Petty says, you can also you can also have your credit reported through places like rental or layaway furniture, etc. But you will have to call them and may pay a one-time fee of like $10 a month to boost your score. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, you pay them to put it, because they don't, because of course any company that does credit has a credit bureau, they have to pay for the credit bureau service. So then they charge you, and you can do stuff. You can, and we go over different things like that, because you can do self funding. There's different things you can do for self funding. So so you can also do that as well. So that's good, Mary. Yep.
That is good because, she said just a nugget that a friend found out. That is good because I often wondered that for years. I said, well, gosh, now when you are late on that rent, or you get put out, evicted and all of that, that goes on your credit. They report that to the credit. Why not report the payment history? And so, okay, so that's good. Layaway of furniture and rental. Okay, that's a good piece of info. Yeah. All right. Do we have any others? Any other questions? Thank you, Francis Luckett. Yes, knowledge is power. Any other questions? Thank you all for joining us. Make sure that you all copy this link. You can copy the link and you can share it with your friends, family. You can go to whenever you want to. If you want to find any of our previous webinars, just go to Abundant Rain Ministries Facebook page, go to our album that says A.R.M Community Outreach Webinars, Workshops and Webinars. Just go right there to that album and you'll see the flyers, and we'll also have the link in there from the videos. That way you can just click the link and go directly to the previous workshops like today, webinars. And so this has been awesome. Absolutely. Let's see if we have any other. Well, we don't have any more questions coming in. And we're going to turn this back over to see if there's anything or something that Pastor would like to share with us. Shameka Burrell would like to share with us before we go.
Okay. No, I just admonish everybody to if whether you reach out for help, to at least start looking at your budget. At least start looking at what you bring in. What can you cut out? I apologize, my sinuses acting up this morning.
I'm all congested and sinus pressure right now myself. But when we start coughing,
everybody get concerned, but it's just sinuses, I promise.
I know, right? Not COVID, right?
Yes, it's just sinuses. But I do want to encourage you that this is a great time, whether your children are small, whether your children are older. And I want to especially encourage people that sometimes they feel like they have been in debt for so long, or they've been in this cycle for so long, and you don't feel like now that your children might be in high school, that you cannot take advantage of being debt free. But it's never too late to start. It's never too late to change your family legacy. It's never too late to change the courses. Because one thing that, besides like our good looks that we pass down to our children and different stuff, you don't want to pass down some spending and financial habits. Because one thing I do tell my clients with a lot of things, like you can live from Peter to Paul, but it might be a life and death situation for them. They cannot handle the same a set of poverty that you might that you could have handled, or the ability to make you seem like you was doing great, and they try to build that same lifestyle, and you never know. So go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. Oh, you saying something. That is good. You just said that because you know that is so true, because we say it all the time. Oh my God, I couldn't live back in when slavery was going on. I couldn't, or I couldn't go through what my grandparents or my great grandfathers and them went through. So that is so enlightening, Pastor, because didn't even think about it like that. So, because the level of struggle is different, dispensation to dispensation, generation to generation. And so they may not be able to, they understand their form or their way of struggle or whatever, but it's really the same degree of struggle that we had, that they are able to handle it that way, because their struggle was a little different, And so, wow, that's good. That's a good piece right there. Wow. Oh, Bria says this. She says, Shameka, can I call you so we can start with my pay next week? I know that's right.
I'm going to a birthday party after my nephew's birthday party, but yes, you can call me Bria.
Okay.
We can still set up a time, but yes, I definitely can.
Awesome.
I would love to, because I'm telling you that this is, even though I do it on the business side, this is my passion to do, because I understand, like Apostle was just saying, especially with these world of people don't understand that it might take like we want this microwavable kind of lifestyle. And so not understanding that somebody can post, all of this stuff, and not understanding that there might be a trail of debt behind it. There might be a trail of something that is behind it. So we don't want to teach our kids. We don't want to teach about the family legacy part, the generation that is coming behind us. And no matter, it doesn't have to be left for your children, whatever your family tree makes of. We don't want them to believe that, owning, being always stressed and tired, working and doing all of this and not having anything to show for it. And when I say show for it, I'm talking about things that you cannot buy. It's the peace, because you can get the car tomorrow and have the peace, but let's show our family, let's show our generation how to get the car and the peace. Let's show our generation how to sleep at night and still have a budget. So so that's what the family legacy is all about. It's not just simply about just putting a budget together. It's really about changing your mindset to teach your next generation, because you can go through a course and then you can give that course to your niece, your nephew, your daughter, your son, or whoever.
Wow, I love it.
This course is free at Abundant Rain too, as well.
What's that again, Pastor?
When we go back into the building. So I was just telling you, get excited, because we will be offering, when you was talking about the hands-on courses, the family legacy will be, be taught at Abundant Rain. So, stay tuned.
Yes. Wow. Yes, this is so good. So Mary says, thank you so much. This was so helpful. Bria says, LOL, thank you. I am ready. Courtney Collins Warner says, this is very helpful to me and my family. Good information. Awesome. This is good. Yes. And I love the way that you incorporated the budgeting and just having fun at being able to do things in life. And like you said, people get nervous and they like to back away from budgeting because they think it's going to take away all their fun, them doing things that they want to do in life. So I love the way you did that, because it can be intimidating, because it's like, gosh, nothing. You
can't buy nothing, can't do nothing.
Right? But you want to live fun. Yes, I love the way you incorporate both. This is good. Yeah. This is Sharita. Okay, she says, this is Sharita. Great information. Awesome. All right. Well, I think that we are done for today. We thank you all for joining us, and continue to stay tuned, because this is every third Saturday of the month. Every third Saturday of the month from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. And we have different topics every month and different facilitators. Next month, we're going to have home buying tips and tricks and information about home buying and what you need to do to prepare for that home purchase, and all the different things, whether it's a buyer's market or, is it a good time? Just all those things that you need to do to prepare. And so we're going to have our very own realtor. He is, I'm going to keep it for now. I ain't going to tell y'all who it is, because some of you all, he's bought he's helped you purchase your homes as well. And so we like to share him here at Abundant Rain Ministry. So we're going to share that soon with you. Also, stay posted and stay tuned. All right. God bless you all. Thank you so much. Thank you. God bless everyone.